It is extremely important that people appreciate the fact that we are dealing with an area that is not just like having the discretion to describe what you see. Essentially, you deal with numbers. It is numerical in nature.
Thank you.
So we need to appreciate that. Mr. Speaker, I'm holding what Dr. Atufoasen came to this August House to present to us. Just an extract. And I'm quoting him. 2025 budget speech presented by Dr. Kesel Atufoasen, MP, Minister for Finance. Mr. Speaker, we inherited an economy in deep crisis, hard hit with debt. Mr. Speaker, the same budget they presented this year. I want each and every one here, Tom, Dick, and Harry, to understand the fact that anybody that concentrates only on the nominal figure when it comes to debt is suffering from unconscious incompetence. Because, Mr. Speaker, practically, you can pick a very rich man such as Kwame Despite, as we all know, whose debt runs into billions of dollars. And you can pick somebody like Dr. Stephen Amoah. I also have a company. My debt running into just thousands of Ghana cedis. But mine is an issue because it can only be analyzed based on my asset value. So we talk about debt to GDP. And this is where I want us to teach the students out there the right thing. This house is very august, and we need to accord it that reputation. It is extremely important. Mr. Speaker, they presented 61.7 thereabout percent in terms of debt to GDP that we left for them. They are saying we left it in crisis. This is their own budget. Mr. Speaker, this is 2016 budget. They did it. They left debt to GDP over 70%. It's only Ghana. I'm giving what they even wrote. It's here. It is only Ghana that a caretaker of an institution will leave a debt to asset value or percentage over 70%, comes back for the same institution, met 61.7 thereabout, and the person will describe yours because the NDC are brothers and sisters only they believe only in communist inferior tactics, propaganda. They think it's all about lies. Mr. Speaker, let's not go there. We are talking about our GDP. This is what I have. This is the world's global economic growth target. It was what? 3.2%. Mr. Speaker, we left 5.7%. Mr. Speaker, this is their own budget. They just presented. This is debt to GDP is 61.7, better than yours. See this. This is the most recent budget they left. Mr. Speaker, just look at a few of the relevant items. 2016, agri growth was 2.7%. We left 2.8. Crops, they left 2.2. We left 3.2. Mr. Speaker, industry, they left 4.3. We left 7. Mr. Speaker, I think it is appropriate you accord this house the needed respect. It's a reputational house. Your constituents are watching you. So can you allow me to speak? Mr. Speaker, when it comes to mining and quarrying, they left negative 0.2. We left 9.4. When it comes to electricity, they left negative 5.8. We left 2.0. When it comes to construction, they left 8.4, we left 9.6. Mr. Speaker, then you come to services. They left 2.8, we left 5.9. Then you come to trade, repair of vehicles, household goods, negative 0.4, we left 3.6. You are telling us, this is from the NDC. This is NDC's own data. It's not from MPP. You brought it. So if it's not correct, tell me. I don't think you are deceiving us. For once, I trust your work. Mr. Speaker, you come to information and communication. They left 5.6. We left 15.8. Mr. Speaker, education, all over the world, the most essential areas in any serious socio-economic jurisdiction is twofold: education and health. That was why a lot of Ghanaians were surprised that as a social democrat, you could even withdraw teachers and nurses' allowances. You have no idea how to manage a sustainable economic framework. You only do propaganda. Mr. Speaker, 2016, they left 2.3. We left 2.7. Health and social work, they left 4.0. We left 4.4. Then you come to the House, you wrote that we left economy that is in crisis. Thanks be to God, talking about the economy, as I said, it's not describing what you see. Mr. Speaker, then let's talk about serious issues here. COGM against education and other aspects. In fact, the monies they are actually taken to Office of Government Machinery. Mr. Speaker, in terms of percentage increase, it is 728.22%. It has never happened in the history of this country before. Do you mean to build this economy? Do you mean to build this economy for tomorrow? Do you see the poor ones on the street there? Do you care about their future? Do you drive between Adanta and Ridge? Do you see the case there? Have you been to Mokola? See how mothers are suffering, and you are taking everything to listen. You cross it. You are crossing it. Mr. Speaker, there. Mr. Speaker, then we want to come to taxes. This is of great importance to me. It looks as if politics is driving all of us to the extent that we don't even care about our fiscal policies or frameworks. The NDC guys, my brothers and sisters, make arbitrary decisions in managing our fiscal space. So they say anything, they quote anything, they decide, they've forgotten that managing tax policies are calibrated in nature. You look at the relationship between the elementary or the fundamental or definitional elements of your fiscal space, then you decide to increase taxes, reduce, or even maintain what you have. I don't think they do any serious econometrics or mathematics. They just wake up and they say, we are increasing this, we are increasing that. There is nowhere in this world that you just wake up one day and say you want to increase taxes and you do. No. Check 2017, under His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the man that you guys will remember one day. He actually reduced or entirely took away tax items amounting to about, in terms of nominal figures, between 12 and 17. These were the days that Kayayo tax, condom tax, real estate tax, medicines imported but not produced in Ghana. Go and check. But after we got to a situation where our fiscal space got bad, he started increasing. That's the prudent management of any economic jurisdiction. It's not the way you do yours. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to debt, even if I want to go by their figures, you have the unprecedented record in the history of this country. 2009, NDC government met total debt of 9.2 billion Ghana cedis. 2016, when they were leaving Ghana, it had moved to 122.3 billion. In terms of percentage increase, 1,222.8%. It has never occurred. Sometimes I want to ask you, nobody wants to tell me, that are you truly social democrats or capitalistic in nature? Because you can't do proper policies. You can't manage the economic indicators. So what are you? I want to know. Just as I think Peter asked Jesus, who are you? Are you socialistic? You're always bundling around propaganda. Only lies and deception. Mr. Speaker, name all the pro policies in our country. Name all the pro policies, both in kind and cash. Any pro policy of national tenacity and international reputation, you cannot dip your hand in it. Even in this very August house, when we're passing national health insurance, you run away. Only for you to come back and say you started it. When it was Roman Catholics that had started that as a pilot project in Kwanzaa and Techiman. Every day it's about propaganda. We are doing free SHS. You clicked against it, you spoke against it, you insulted us. When you realize that Ghanaians were buying to it, so we want to do it incrementally. Mr. Speaker, they only added 25 million that year to the education budget. The fact is, NDC has to be dissolved. You have to be dissolved. It's not about numbers. You have to be dissolved. Because we are talking about quality numbers. See, our numbers are small, but quality, mighty minority. Mr. Speaker, for this, I respect that I will say it, but I'll tell them out today. Mr. Speaker, let's come to this, something they call 24-hour economy. I've conducted my own research. I've collected primary data from them. I've asked 31 NDC MPs. They all give different definitions. One policy, in terms of definitions, infinite. The fact is, the NDC guys do not stay down, sit down, analyze things before they come out. What is 24-hour economy? They have no idea about what they want to do. Mr. Speaker, what we want to tell them is that Ghanaians, Ghanaians have regretted. Ghanaians is soon and never see prices of fuel.
Honorable member,
Mr. Speaker,
your leader is up. I just want to listen to you.
Mr. Speaker, stop your work for me.
I have your clock. I've stopped it. Don't worry. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, he said he interviewed 31 members of NDC MPs and who did not understand what the 24-hour economy is. So, Speaker, that is not fair because you cast doubts on the integrity of the entire membership of the NDC caucus. You can engage in your debate, but clearly you haven't conducted any interviews. If you conducted interviews, mention the names of the MPs. It's not fair to this side for that particular statement to be allowed to stand. You can say all the lies you have said, I don't have a problem. But to add this one, I think that it shouldn't be accepted, Mr. Speaker. It shouldn't be accepted.
Honorable member, you are called upon to name the 31 members. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, what the leader of the House is trying to do will generate debate, Mr. Speaker. It will generate debate. So with respect, I'll tell him that he should let it flow because we are doing comments on the statement. But to now tell the member to mention names, it will generate debate, Mr. Speaker, because if any member name is mentioned, whether the member has said so or not, might deny or say so, and it will generate debate. So, Mr. Speaker, I think he should let it flow so that we can not, these interjections will not happen, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Habib, what has gone on so far? What do you term it? Is it debate or comment?
Mr. Speaker, I cannot say debate, but it looked like debate. Mr. Speaker, I cannot call it debate because when you look at your guidance the last time, it is understatement. And then our other papers say comments. So I don't want to be invited to be tempted saying that it is a debate. So, but it looked like debate, Mr. Speaker.
You know, the statement is too general, and it has placed the other side under a dark cloud. Who are the third one among you that are unable to understand your own policy of 24-hour economy? That is what they are talking about. So if you don't have the names, you may withdraw that aspect and go on. Honorable member, you have the names to give us.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I don't have the names, but I just want your guidance on something.
Yes.
Because you told the House that your predecessor ruled on a word that it is unparliamentary to say shame. And for that matter, we should be guided. But the majority leader just referred to somebody like he's lying. So I don't know if that is parliamentary. That he can continue with his lies, but he should name. So I just want your guidance if lying is parliamentary. Since he's our leader, I just want some guidance from you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
So your call is for me to give a ruling on what he has said, whether the word lie is parliamentary or unparliamentary.
Exactly so, Mr. Speaker.
I'm not too sure my ruling will be obeyed. My experience so far has shown that it's a common word that is being used by both sides of the House. I know the challenge we all have in trying to use a foreign language. I know in our languages we use better words. But in the English language, we are found wanting. And so the lie in Ghana is understood differently from what the Englishman will interpret it. And so it seems for some time now, over the years, we've allowed a use of the word lie, even though in strict parliamentary terms or language is unparliamentary. It's unparliamentary. So please, if you want to be guided, that is the proper thing to do. Don't, in your submissions, use the word lie. Are you promising me that you will not use it again?
Maybe the majority leader will give that assurance.
On your behalf?
On our behalf. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
No, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please.
Definitely, we will move away from lies and say misrepresentations.
I didn't hear the other word.
We will move away from lies and substitute that with misrepresentations.
Well, there are a number of words you could use. Either is misinformation, misrepresentation, disinformation, misleading, or there are some softer words. Well, falsehood is better than lie, but that is in the same category. And so I will not encourage you to even use the word falsehood. Even untruth is also in the same category. So please, the communication people will guide you, and I think it's better to talk about misinformation or misleading, not lie. Because you are honorable people, and I know honorable people don't tell lies. Yes, please, you may continue. You have 4 more minutes.
Mr. Speaker, the Mamin Kasai.
You gave some directives. You gave either
Speaker.
he mentions or he withdraws.
Yes. The general reference.
No, Mr. Speaker, I think my majority leader actually misconstrued what I said. I never said any of them got it wrong, but I said each of them gave a different answer. Mr. Speaker, I think when we have free time, I want us to conduct this exercise out of extempore and call them one by one and ask them. Some of them know I asked them. But Mr. Speaker, when it comes to data collection, you want to talk about ethics and integrity of your data collected. Unless your respondent allow you to mention their name, I would have mentioned their names. This you understand? I never said you got it wrong. But each of them, Mr. Speaker, I am in an August house. Each of them gave a different answer. So I was like, wow. Mr. Speaker, I will continue. I will ignore it for now. But I want to come in.
Honorable member, let me get it right. Now, he says that what he earlier on submitted was that each of the 31 gave a different answer. That was what he stated.
Mr. Speaker, our issue is that he said he conducted research and interviewed 31 members of this side. And I'm saying that he asked, and you directed that he should mention them or withdraw. That is my position on the matter. Mr. Speaker, on the contrary, for 2 weeks now, his side has been insisting that they don't have clarity on what 24-hour economy means. And so I went to the Flagstaff House and Jubilee House, the Flagstaff House, and convinced Guzitano to come here and present to us the meaning and the policy components of the 24-hour economy. And so this weekend, we managed to educate them on the 24-hour economy. We did that. And Mr. Speaker, the presentation was excellent and unusual of them. They had no questions to ask. They had no question to ask. For once, I was impressed. Unusual. They understood everything. And then it was only this side that was asking questions. They understood everything.
Yes. So his submission had not in any way cast any aspersions or doubt or anything against your side. It's just that you wanted the names of the people he interviewed. Is that the case? Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, the essence of what he said was to the effect that 21 of our members, 31 of our members gave differing meaning to a policy, and the position of my majority leader is that we want the names of our members who gave him 31 different meanings to the policy of 24 hours. And Mr. Speaker, And Mr. Speaker, instead of doing that, he's gotten up and he's on a different tangent. That was not your directive. Your directive was that the position taken by the majority leader has been upheld. So give us the names of the NDC members, 31, who after campaigning for 1 year with 24-hour policy will tell you, Sticka, the honorable member for Ishiaesu, different meanings. And this is a house of records. So please, can you be a bit patient so we do this properly? If we cannot, this is a house of records. If he cannot mention the names, he could humbly tell Mr. Speaker that, Mr. Speaker, I may not be able to give the names as you have directed, and therefore I withdraw that component of my submission, as if it was never said. But I want to make progress. But if you insist that that should form part of the record, then Speaker's directive has to be obeyed. I think that is where we are, with all due respect, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, the majority chief whip, she understands that when the member, you ask for clarity. He said